Hi Leo, my ascendant brothers and sisters. Welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. Watch them for all three so that you know which part of you I resonate with most as a reader. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. Sorry, I'm laughing there because it's like I listen to myself sometimes and I'm like, love, peace and abundance. This, big gay Raph, like this big burly, like, I love you, you're amazing. Sometimes in life you really just have to laugh at yourself and just not take it all so seriously from time to time, right? Life and the world and all the rest of it can be really heavy and really serious a lot of the time, and sometimes a good chuckle is what you need. Anyway, for your key to the week this week, you have the Strength card, right? It's interesting because obviously, as many of you know, the Strength card is the card that rules Leo. So you show up very strong in your own power this week, and the sun's just come out from behind the clouds as well. I bet, hey, right? So I'm here for that. But interestingly enough, as you can see on this card, there's a tiger instead of a lion, right? And it's funny because I remember I dated somebody for a long time and he always used to say to me, you're like Tigger, you just got your bounce. And he used to say to me, like, I know when you're upset or when you're sad because your bounce isn't there. And I was just laughing because it's like I can hear love, peace and abundance. Sorry, it really made me laugh, obviously. So what does this tell us, right? To bring it to a serious level for a moment for your reading. The Strength card is about strength. It's about having the courage to dig into your heart of hearts and be really honest about what it is that you truly want and what it is that you truly desire. This is about being really honest and really upfront with yourself about what that actually looks like and really kind of what it means, okay? So in all of these different areas of life, you are going to need to dig deep or find the courage or strength to go after what it is that you truly want in that aspect of your life, right? So life this week is going to push you, it's going to challenge you to get the most out of it for yourself. For your actions and options, you've got the Eight of Swords. So what do we see straight away? Strength card is number 8. Eight of Swords, obviously the number 8. So 2 8s represents new knowledge, new wisdom, new information. This is in your actions and options. So this is about what you do, right? So aside from constriction, confinement, and this is so funny because I had this very experience today. Like, so as I'm recording these videos, which is the 5th of June, and this is the thing, I record these in advance. So when you guys see them, they've already been recorded days previously, right? So it's always really interesting to me then when people say like, oh my God, you said this was going to happen and look at the news. Because I'm always like, whoa, okay. Right, it's really cool. Now, that being said, the experience that I had today was I had a moment where something happened today that helped me understand where a blind spot of mine is, right? And rather than kind of getting to a tizzy and have a wobble about it, what I did say was I'm really grateful because now I know what the blind spot is. Look at the figure on the card, right? Now I know what the blind spot is. I know how to honor that part of myself that is speaking up for what it wants. And so this week, what you're being encouraged to do, right? So your actions are going to have a certain set of results. I gotta be honest, it's the 8 of Swords. The results may not be what you want, and you might think to yourself, okay, well, you know what, that's that. Now, the 2 8s, new knowledge, new information, new wisdom. What is the new information coming in? The new information coming in is that what you're trying to do is either not going to work in that way, or you now realize that some part of you is unfulfilled and is speaking up and asking you for to do something in a different way to honor that, right? If you've been with me long enough, you will have heard me say this before. Experience is what you get when you don't get what you want. Okay, really take some time to let that sort of filter in and sit in. Now, in terms of the options that are available to you, the Eight of Swords on the more positive energy, it's about being in it for the long haul, right? So in your heart of hearts this week, life is going to show you, it's going to highlight to you, it's going to give you the new information. And the new information is there's some part of you that is unfulfilled, right? And what's coming up for you this week as a challenge, or is not working, or that avenue seems to be closed for you, or it's not moving the way that you would like it to, it's showing you what your blind spot is. Once you have that information, you can course correct and say, okay, you know what, I'm still going to do this, but now that I know which part of me is unfulfilled, I can satisfy that, and then all of it will be a lot more streamlined. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Seven of Wands. Very interesting. You got to fight for what you want this week, Leo, right? Now, one thing that I can definitely tell you, like, Leos aren't afraid to roar. Not all of them are gregarious and, theatrical as myself. We also have what we call the silent dignity types, right? But I gotta be honest, Leo is somewhat, they don't really like confrontation as much as people say that they do. That's really true of the Leo trope. However, that Seven of Wands is about standing your ground, defending your viewpoint. And when it comes to your professional life, you have to stand up for yourself where nobody else is going to. All right. Now, when it comes to those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this thing that you learn, this new piece of information that comes to you this week, may very well prompt you to have a hard conversation, maybe to set a boundary of some sort, or even possibly to go against the grain in some regard, right? When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, it's quite possible this week that you do have maybe not an argument with your boss, but maybe you do have words with a boss or an employer or a superior of some sort that sees you having to kind of set a boundary and say, hey, listen, you know what, maybe I work under you, but I don't work for you, so you need to back it up a little bit, right? Maybe you're needing to kind of stand your ground on something, especially if you can see that there is an area of something that can be done better, or it's inefficient as it currently is. So it's like if somebody questions you this week, be prepared to speak up and say, well, actually, the reason I'm doing it like this is because the things that you've set forward don't work, quite frankly. This is like, you know, when you work in a company and your manager has never actually done the frontline job. So it's like they've never actually been an agent. They've never actually been customer service. They've never been at the front desk before. So it's all well and good you and your fucking pencil pushing ways can tell me, oh, you need to do this and we got to hit this target and blah, blah, blah. If that doesn't work on the ground, how exactly do you want that to be implemented? I'm telling you, I work on the front line. This does not work. We need a different strategy. You need to be prepared to stand up for it this week, Leo. When it comes to those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, the new knowledge, the new information that's coming in this week, life is basically saying to you, you have to find a way to use this in your work or in your business. It's also suggesting that maybe, just maybe, you may have to either cut certain people off, certain connections off. It may be that you have to be not so much more secretive, but maybe you have to put boundaries around what you give away and how much you give away. And then finally, when it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working, your Seven of Wands will, especially because it's the Eight of Swords here as well, for those of you that have had issues with like a chronic health situation or an issue that's been recurring, this week you're going to find out what part of your immune system has been struggling. All right. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I can't give you medical advice. This is not a diagnosis. For your for your love and relationships, you've got the Ace of Pentacles. So new financial starts potentially with a significant other. So for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, it may very well be that your partner gets a new job this week. Maybe they get a new job. For some of you, that new job potentially means a move or a change of location. That's all very possible as well. The other thing with that Ace of Pentacles, there's new money to be had here. But because you've got this Seven of Wands, the way that I feel like this is going to hit is the partner's new job or their new responsibilities or whatever are going to clash with your own schedule. And so somewhere here you are going to have to dig your heels in and say, okay, it's wonderful that you've got this going on, but that doesn't mean that I have to, you know, sit back and do nothing or play the supportive role, right? I'm going to be supportive, but maybe not in the way that that means where, you know, I walk behind you picking up all of your clothes off the floor or whatever. There's some kind of boundary that will need to be set within the relationship this week, and it might even be a financial one for some of you. When it comes to those of you that are single and looking, for those of you that are changing location, this tells me that the relationship or the partnership that you're looking for will come once you shift where you live. Whether that's that you do work on the property or you move and then you meet somebody, whichever way it comes about, that's the message here. Before we get into your money and materials, I just want to say the Lunar Lacuna is open. Remember, it's a rolling pattern, so you can sign up when you want, you can sign off when you want. This is manifesting with the moon. It's energy work. The group is up and running. We're already having a great time with it, getting lots of info, lots of insight, loving it. There's a Telegram group as well for those of you that are interested in that aspect of it, and I'm pretty much in there every single day, so lots of interaction. All right, anyway, with that said, you can get all of that on the link in the description box below. For your money and materials, you have the Death card. Endings, completions and culminations. This is really having the guts to break away from what financially is not fulfilling, or quite frankly what is not financially supportive or what's the word, healthy, right? When it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Death card with the Strength card, wherever you have, I mean, quite frankly, your body and potentially your immune system this week are going to show you what they either don't want any more of or what you can no longer do, right? I learned a really harsh lesson last year about how much I can actually do. I got really sick in 2023 at the end of the year, so I spent the 4 months from the end of basically from the end of August, so like the beginning of September right through the end of the year, I was so ill. Like seriously, like if you watch back some of the videos, you can see it. Like I was talking about it and apologizing for my runny nose and, you know, all the rest of it. But like I was really ill at the end of last year, and that was my lesson, right? You don't have infinite energy. You're not 20 years old anymore, even if you do act like a big child, right? And more importantly, my body was speaking to me about the things that it no longer wants. Like, anyone that knows me knows I love a little bit of junk food. I'm a total sugar fiend. Like that is, you know, everyone has vices. Those are mine, unfortunately, but it's the sugar for me, right? And I now know, like at this point, my body's like, no, you can't do this anymore. I don't want it. And so what I'm noticing is the patterns and the trends when I eat too much sugar. And so slowly but surely, I'm starting to peel it back, right? I'm learning from that. Your body this week is going to be your messenger. It's going to tell you what it does want, what it doesn't want, how it responds to things, and it's up to you to pay attention and put a fucking stop to them, all right? And I'm talking to me here as well. When it comes to your home and environment, you've got this opposite the Ace of Pentacles. So whatever plans you had to either extend your lease in the current property, whatever plans you had to maybe stay put, I'm sorry to say, by the time we get into, certainly by the time we get into July and August, you will realize very quickly, like, and it starts this week, right? Like this is where you start to really break away from whatever or wherever, should I say, you've been tied to up until now. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.